Hello, all Taurus people out there. I'm Poetic Heretic, and this is our February 2020 Tarot forecast. I will be giving you a Celtic Cross reading for the month of February 2020 for all Taurus people out there, sun, rising, and moon. As usual, I will minimize the stream window while I shuffle the cards so I can relax and focus properly, and then I'll bring it back up when I go to draw them and do the reading. All right, so we would like a Celtic Cross reading for all Taurus people for the month of February 2020. Let's see what we get. What will be the energy in the month of February 2020 for the sign of Taurus? There we are already. Okay. Pull the window back up now. And let the games begin. The Eight of Cups reversed. Your current outside influences. For the challenge, the Tower. Boy, there's going to be some powerful events this month for Taurian people. Underlying energy, excuse me. For the underlying energy, we have the Knight of Swords. For the past, the Devil. Boy, we got the Tower, we got the Devil. Look out. Well, isn't this reading interesting? For what you hope to achieve, the Hanged Man. Weirdly enough, Aries got this exact same card in this exact same position just before this reading. Very interesting. Near future, the Two of Pentacles. For your attitude or position on the situation, the Five of Cups reversed. We definitely like this better reversed. Recovery and improvement and greater optimism usually. Outside force coming in, the Six of Wands. Hopes or fears, the Ten of Wands reversed. And the final outcome card is the King of Swords reversed. All right, so let's dive into this here. Okay, so I think I already see where some of this is going, but let's see, 1 second. Okay, I think I see what's going on here. So starting off with the Eight of Cups reversed, representing your current outside influences right around the beginning of the month, there's a couple different possibilities here. What's really jumping out at me in particular, especially with that Death card showing up in the past, and its associations with hedonism and things of this nature, like the sort of abuse of pleasure, basically. The Eight of Cups reversed for your current outside influences can show that, let's see, how do I put this? That there is either a willingness and or a need to get that indulgence in pleasure back in balance. There is a willingness and or need to leave behind overindulgences in pleasure, leave the devil in the past, so to speak, leave the excessive like hedonic behavior, if that's your situation, or whatever sort of perversion of pleasure you might have been experiencing, to leave that in the past. Now, this can also, of course, often manifest in close relationships, or maybe not so close relationships. Maybe some of you just got out of like an abusive relationship. I hope that's as low of a number as possible, but if you did, this combination of cards, and this card starting off is saying, indeed, leave that in the past. Don't remain chained to something just because of some kind of physical gratification you might get out of it. And the Eight of Cups reversed, though, is also very often an indicator of leaving behind things that need to be left behind. Moving on and doing the right thing, even if it's painful to leave something behind. What was the other thing I was going to say about that? It's like recognizing what has to be done and doing it, even though you might not like it or it might not be easy, that sort of thing. It's a bit frustrating as I'm reading this, because there's a couple different things I want to say with this card, but I also want to make it clear. So I think I'm just going to leave it at that. It's, again, I would say largely about getting the indulgence of pleasure in your life in check, and or leaving behind something that was very unhealthy for you in the past, something that maybe was pleasurable in a way, but was ultimately chaining you to something very unhealthy. So that's what we have there. Backing that up further, of course, is the Tower card for your challenge this month. So the Tower, the collapse of that which is built upon a false structure. And in this case, it looks like that was, again, the Devil card that we see in the past. And this card, of course, in the sequence of the major arcana, immediately follows the Devil card. And I think the message or advice from the cards here basically is, let that false structure collapse. Let the upheaval happen. Let those chains be broken. Don't stay in that wretched situation. Don't keep trying to uphold a tower that needs to crumble. Don't try to keep upholding something that needs to be left behind, left in the past. I believe that is indeed what we are seeing here for Taurus in the month of February 2020. All right, but there's more than that going on in your month. It's not just about that. For the underlying energy, everything forming a foundation for your current situation this month, you have the Knight of Swords. So, interesting stuff here. We have the fiery aspect of air, the intense intellectual passion, the burning willpower for the intellect, for communication, for logical and rational thought, these sorts of things, that kind of energy. The Knights often advise us to either go all out for their energy or pull back completely as much as possible with their energy. So the Knight of Swords is all about, again, that intellectual energy more than anything. Well, it's fire and air, but let us just focus a little bit more on the air here. That intellectual energy, communication, aggressively stating one's opinion, being willing to have debates and arguments, intelligence, especially like intellectual intelligence, creative breakthroughs and dynamic creativity. Maybe even the Tower card could be hinting at that a little bit. So basically what this is saying is, you're either going to want to go into that energy as much as possible, that intellectual, creative, breakthrough kind of energy as much as possible, that objective, logical energy as much as possible. Or if you feel like you've been too heavily engaged in that, you're going to want to pull back from that and give your mind a rest and maybe try to be a little more intuitive or a little more cognizant of your emotions, like listening to your emotions more. So whichever fits for you, basically, is what we have here. Of course, with this being a court card, and then we have the final card being the King of Swords reversed, another air sign court card. This could be an adult male air sign usually. So that would be Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius. So this person may be playing a significant role in your life this month. So be aware of that possibility. And it looks like they're supporting you. But if the King of Swords is also that same person, but it could be a separate person, a separate air sign, by the end of the month, there may be some kind of conflict with them. So do be aware of that, I would say. For the past, as we have already been over to some extent, we have the Devil card. So as I alluded to, this indicates a situation where you feel chained, trapped, like you're sort of stuck in the realm of physical desires only, and maybe to the point that you feel chained to your own desire for pleasure. And of course, you can see the figures of the lovers on this card, and that is no coincidence. It's the idea of the perversion of what harmony and wholeness the lovers card itself represents. The Devil card is in a sense a perversion of that. And it's saying that you're trapped in a situation that you need to break free from, basically. And of course, we've already been over the other cards that we got at the beginning of your reading, indicating indeed the need to break free from that and leave this behind in the past. Whatever you're still feeling trapped by, break those chains. For what you hope to achieve, your highest hope, your highest goal this month, what you are reaching for, we have the Hanged Man, just like the sign of Aries this month, funny enough, as I mentioned. The Hanged Man, a card all about surrender and letting go. This card is the idea that rather than trying to make something happen, like we see with the Magician card, for example, that this card corresponds to in some ways, we are letting go. We are not doing anything. We are being still and surrendering, yielding to the flow of life. And that is how we win, and that is how we get what we want. So it looks like that's what a lot of you are reaching for this month. Let me just analyze some more things here. It looks like a lot of you are just recovering from like a difficult situation, and there's this desire to make peace with what has happened and to sort of dissolve the pain perhaps of what has happened through an act of surrender and letting go and just sort of being with what is. That's the whole idea of the Hanged Man card, a very Piscean card, a very Neptunian card. It's all about dissolving and letting go and surrender. And so that's what you're reaching for this month. For the near future, representing about the first week or two of the month, you have the Two of Pentacles, some fresh energy. How nice. This card very often indicates the new beginnings of financial ventures or work-related ventures. So some of you may be getting a new job or trying to start a new business or investing, that sort of thing. It signals having to like spend some money in order to get some money, to make some money. And so that sort of dynamic. Sometimes, in my experience, it can indicate the idea of there being too many ups and downs and too much upheaval. And I think with, seeing cards like the Tower earlier in this reading, that may very well be the case for many of you. So do prepare yourselves for that. You're not out of the rough waters yet by the first week or two of the month. No, not from the looks of things here. So just be aware of that. But at least it's like new energy. It's like movement in a new direction, something exciting. But I would also say, on an astrological note, be wary of the fact that Mercury is about to go retrograde, and it's going to go retrograde in the sign of Pisces. And so while this may be a time where we can see the beginnings of something new, the beginnings of a beginning, don't expect it to come to full outright fruition immediately. There's probably going to be some kind of delay, some kind of reworking of things throughout this month of February and perhaps March as well, before things can really get going, I would say. All right, so for your attitude or position on the situation, about halfway through the month, you have the Five of Cups reversed. Okay, very nice. So this is a strong indicator that you are successfully letting go of the past. There is a sense of healing here, recovery from disappointments, recovery from loss and pain, recovery from a broken heart and broken relationships, perhaps. There is the sense of improving times. There is maybe even the sense of a bit of optimism, perhaps, coming into your life. So by about halfway through the month, the vast majority of you're feeling better and better and better. So that's good. For the outside force coming in, you have the Six of Wands. Victory, triumph, progress. And so this is quite possibly someone or something or some situation coming towards you this month that is representative of those energies. This may even be someone who comes to assist you in some way, who will kind of help lead you out of the dark, perhaps, with this card's association with this idea of leadership, victory, triumph, progress, indeed. This may also be something that comes to you that inspires you to take a greater lead or a greater role in directing the course of your life this month, and gives you, like, I would say, more of a sort of strong, healthy ego. And I almost want to say there could be a connection between that and the Tower card, the Devil card, and the Hangman that we've already been over. But, well, maybe there is, maybe there isn't. Guess we shall find out. For your hopes or fears, you got the Ten of Wands reversed. So you're hoping, indeed, just like the Hanged Man card reminded us or indicated to us, that you can let go this month, that you can release the heavy burden, that you can make peace with what has happened and just release and let go that situation or person or whatever that you felt like was holding you down, that was keeping you chained and preventing you from moving forward with your life and having a healthy growth and development. Because when I see a combination like this, again, I have to reiterate, the Devil card in the past, the Tower card is a challenge card, and the Eight of Cups reversed for the current outside influences. It's like, this isn't a healthy situation. Maybe for some of you it's not that bad, and I'm sure that there are a number of Taurian people out there for whom it is not that bad. But if you're one of the ones that's in an unhealthy situation, indeed, let go of it. Do whatever you have to do to let go of it. At your own pace, of course. For the final outcome card, how you are concluding the month of February 2020, you got the King of Swords reversed. So, speaking of that, Mercury retrograde in Pisces. Here we are seeing this energy of a lack of mental clarity, a lack of logical and rational thinking, Because indeed, that's what we have with Mercury and Pisces. I said this to Aries, and I'll say it to you as well, Taurus. Once Mercury enters Pisces, if you try to think logically, good luck, because it's just not an easy thing to do at all when Mercury is in the watery, intuitive, mystical realms of Pisces. Like, you would be far better off trying to relax your desire to think things through logically, and instead perhaps exercise a bit more of intuition or feeling or psychic ability, perhaps even, more Piscean qualities. So that's, I think that would be what this card is alluding to more than anything else, because the time frame matches up basically perfectly. In fact, I can just see here real quick, what is the specific date that Mercury goes retrograde in Pisces? Let's just see. February 16th at 7:55 p.m. Eastern time. So yeah, definitely, indeed, by the end of the month, logic is not what's going to get you through the long, dark night, if it is a long, dark night that you must go through. So instead, trust your intuition, trust the way that you feel, and remember, this is a time for creative thinking and creativity. Now, yes, it is true with that King of Swords reversed, as I mentioned earlier, it may represent an air sign person that you have some kind of conflict with, so do be aware of that possibility as well. But it seems much more alluding to the Mercury retrograde, if you ask me. So that's about it, Taurus. Overall, this is a month for you to break free and reclaim your freedom. Declare independence, break the chains of bondage. Do not remain, enslaved to the tyrants and, wretched controllers. And enjoy yourself. Enjoy some of this new energy that is either coming in or at least trying to come in. So that is what we have. All right. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, feel free to give a like and subscribe and all that stuff. I plan on doing more of these forecasts from now on. And I, of course, regularly post content or stream content usually to my channel that has to do with astrology and tarot and the occult. So if that's your thing, be sure to subscribe. And I'll see you next time. Have a great day or night wherever you are, and a great month of February 2020.